Good day, everyone. We are happy to connect with you every single day. We have lovely guests joining us for a reason to spread a beautiful message across this platform, irrespective of gender, irrespective of age, caste, creed, color, geographical location, etc. We love to bond with many people just because they have beautiful minds. They've understood the meaning of life. Life is to help yourself and help others as well. Ready to share the easiest method to overcome all these challenges. We are really grateful to them for having taken out some time to share it with us today on the International Fab Talks. We have with us today a wonderful guest joining us all the way from Malaysia is none other than Mr. Salim Satori, a great person wanting to transform the world in the right way, wanting to create awareness about depression. He has been through it and he has been having, that personal encounter with depression. And he's been able to overcome those challenges. Yes, depression is for real, but yes, you could overcome that in a scientific way. How he has been able to do all of this, let's get to know more about it. Join us to welcome our celebrity and guest. He's none other than Mr. Salim Satori, joining us all the way from Malaysia. Hello, sir, and welcome to the session. Thank you so much for being here with us.
Dear Andrea, thank you so much for inviting me. I'm delighted to share a very important message, and to be on your platform is such an honor. And this is the right platform for me to share a very important story. Yeah.
Thank you, sir, so much. Thank you for being kind enough to be here with us on special request. You are here to create a beautiful space for all of us and spread a wonderful message. I go ahead and share your profile and we begin the session. Everyone to understand as to who you are in an official way.
Please do, Andrea. Pleasure is all mine.
Thank you so much, sir, for being kind enough to share your space with us today. Thank you very much. Dear friends, I'd like to share the profile of our celebrity and guest. He's none other than Mr. Salim Satori. I'd like you to understand who is Sir. What has his contribution been till date? In what way has he contributed to the world? He is a trainer, training of the trainers, or you could say train the trainer programs. He's a certified coach. And he's also connected with training with regard to Brunei public sector. That's really nice. He's also the founder of Mental Health and Depression, that is 2023, with extensive experience in the service and retail industry. Salim sir reaches people in a very beautiful manner. He has been researching on the human side of digitization and mental health in the 21st century. Presently, Salim sir's main intention is to create mental health awareness. Irrespective of gender, he's focusing on making the world a beautiful place to understand that the mind matters the most in all situations. He possesses a strong understanding of people and wanting to make them understand themselves in a better way. He's really interested in bringing a beautiful change. He has held various positions in the past. He's been at those managerial positions, connecting with people and the corporate sector. His signature programs include Future of Work Trends, Crucial Conversations During Upheavals, Supervisory Skills, CX, Customer Experiences, Lending, and let me put that right, Leading and Managing in Disruption. When you find something disrupted, not okay. So you have to lead the team and manage it well. So focuses on that. Impactful presentations, coaching, mentoring, etc. And of late, when COVID struck the world, that was the time Salim sir rose to the occasion. He has risen like a phoenix. He's risen from the ashes, to say. He's been down and again he has risen up and pulling all others up who are in depression, who have faced the tough times during the COVID times. They might have lost their job or they might have not been able to earn properly. He's having the guts to share it with the world. Many of us, including you and including me, we hide our inner pain and depression. We are not able to show it to the world. We don't accept and acknowledge that we are suffering from certain pain or mental agony. But here is Salim so strong enough to share with the world what he's been through and how we could help others. He has written a lovely book, as I earlier mentioned. It is called as Depression is So Painful. We'll get to know how he has done this and what he intends to share with the world. That's really wonderful to have him here today. He is also known as a survivor and futurist and thought leader on depression. We look forward to his interaction with the world. We want every one of you to gain a lot of experiences and good vibes from this beautiful session. Salim Satori has multifaceted expertise in various fields and a great talent to connect with people. He has been in the corporate sector with regard to training for more than 16 years and has been contributing his best till date in every possible way he could. Unfortunately, as I earlier mentioned, the COVID had really a very bad impact. And as a trainer, Sir was affected by this pandemic, including many of us who have lost connect with our employers or have lost our jobs. So Sir has been really focusing on building a new version of himself. Now let's get to know more about him. How was he able to do it and who was behind it? Actually, it was one of his friend, that is Gobind Nath, who was behind him and focused on his inner self, like, and encouraged Sir to go ahead and present himself in the form of a book and share it with the world, to put it on pen and paper such that we could understand how depression is dangerous and how we could overcome it with the right kind of mentorship and guidance, or maybe read the right kind of book, and that would really also enable you to understand yourself and seek therapy if necessary. That's really very nice. Sir has also been invited to share his story during the mental health for youth under the IYRES Division Sports and Youth Ministry. Salim Sir has also set up an NGO. Let's get to know more about it. That is prevention of depression scientifically. He's also a fighter who has won the battle against depression, as I earlier mentioned. Salim Sir was featured in various programs across the world. It could be the Sun Daily, it could be Selamat Pagi Malaysia, then Free Malaysia Today. It could be many of the channels and podcasts that have focused on mental health and invited Sir time and again to their platform just to create mental health awareness. Salim Sir is actively involved in mental health talks throughout Malaysia, including various panel discussions, and he is a wonderful speaker when he begins to speak about mental health for all. He's not only focused on only one gender, mental health for every single individual, irrespective of age. Now, today, I take this opportunity to learn and share with the world about depression. Many of us shy away from it. Let's be strong today and discuss all the terms and conditions and the various factors that could help us to overcome depression in the right way. And our guest is going to lead us to that path. He's none other than Mr. Salim Satori. Dear sir, I've explained something about you from my end. I've shared it a bit from my side. But all the people in the world, when they view this session, they would love to hear it from you. Who is the real Salim Satori? Over to you.
Wonderful, wonderful. You have encompassed, you have said it all about me. Wonderful introduction, very clear, very precise, very correct. Thank you so much, dear Andrea. I'm honored to be on your platform. This is a wonderful Fabtalks platform, and to serve my message to everyone in India today, where today we can see it is very enlightening and heartening to see yourself, Andrea. You are very passionate also about the topic, to talk about it, anywhere you are in the world, because depression, we don't have any vaccines for it. Depression doesn't care whether you're rich or poor, young or old, sick or you're healthy. It can just come for many, many reasons. So this is what Andrea said is correct. I used to be a corporate trainer for 16 years. I do leadership management development program, and here comes COVID-19. And what happened was, in 2020, I didn't earn a penny, because during the lockdown in Malaysia, we started in March 18. I guess India had its fair share of COVID challenges globally. India was affected badly too, we know. And I thought by March 2020, when we started lockdown in March 18, 2020, I thought by June 2020 things will get better, but it got worse and worse. And every organization that I called, they say training is not important. Employees are working from home. We shelve training. I say we can do something Zoom online. They say no, soft skills, how to teach Zoom online, which is true, because it involves interaction, coaching programs, you need interaction. So what happened was that I said, okay, by June and July, but things got worse and worse. By September 2020, I'm a very active person. I was having very dark thoughts, I never had before. So I was cooped up at home. I have a daughter and a wife, to look for. Then I was wondering what's happening, totally disconnected. But I was okay. I was still okay, but I was having very dark thought. Then here comes December. Virtually, when reaching December, it was shocker for a breadwinner, zero income, no training at all. I was feeling very, it's not hopeless. It was very dark, thoughts, very hard to tell. And I used to wake up at 4:30 a.m. in the morning. So my wife told me in December, and of course, my only friend that time, which I'll explain to you later, Gobinathan Manikam. Here is his, my only friend. He's a family now, Gobinathan. Wonderful man, beautiful guy. Yeah. So he it, I used to talk to him. He was there with me, certain things I share with him. I said things are not improving. Then we thought 2021 things got better, but we were still under lockdown. I got a couple of online training programs, but things got worse. I got only a couple of programs, we have bills to pay. We in Malaysia, we had a lot of issues. People were depressed, people are having a lot of stress, so I try, and then here come November 2021. November 2021, 2 months before November 2021, I used to go to shops. I start to cry. I just cry without any reason. I sit in the hall, I cry. Then I start to have panic attack at 4 a.m. 4 a.m. in the morning, just wake up. My wife is sleeping, kids sleeping. I was just walking around the house, I don't know what was wrong, It was just, I was just crying and crying without any reason. And and on November 15, 2021, November 15, 2021, I have a photo here. This is a real story. November 15, 2021. This is my photo. This is the day, November 15, 51. If you look at, I was watching something online. I cannot move. I cannot move at all. I just froze. It was so painful. I was just looking. I cannot feel anything. And I told my wife I got a heart attack. So she took me. I could hardly walk. I told my wife, I think I got a heart attack. I'm gone today. November 2021. So she took me to the clinic and put me in the car, and we sent our daughter to school. I don't know what to do. I was just looking days, what's happening. So I went to see the doctor, and the doctor said, what happened? I think, I said, doctor, I think I got a heart attack. She said, no. I was very lucky in Malaysia to have a GP who have studied psychology and psychiatry. In Malaysia today, we need 4,000 psychologists and psychiatrists, but we only have 400 in the population of 33 million. That's very, 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 very unsavory information. So what happened? She told me, you're depressed. I said, why? Yeah, you have the telltale sign. My body is stiff. I was so shocked. I started to cry. I told the doctor, please sedate me. Please sedate me. I cannot take it anymore. The panic attack cannot control it. Beyond that, I lost it. She told me, no worries. You take, I'm going to give you antidepressants. Antidepressants, within 15 to 20 days, you will start to feel better. You will start to feel better because during depression, your prefrontal cortex, the thinking brain, shuts down. And the amygdala, a small primitive brain inside, a small part of the brain, takes over. It takes over because untreated depression leads to suicide. I had suicidal thought actually. So I cannot think straight. With the antidepressant, basically, it helps me synthetically to regain back the chemicals that I've lost under pressure, which is serotonin. Serotonin is a chemical for mood stabilizer. So I was losing that because I was not eating well. I was worried too much. When you're under stress, you're not eating. So within 15 days, I took the medication. First time in 2 years, I had some semblance of peace of mind. Peace of mind. I was able to think straight, though I have nothing in front of me, no job, nothing, no income. I told my wife what to do. The doctor said you must take it for 6 months to really be able, because without this antidepressant, she told me, next will be definitely suicide. This is a fact about untreated depression. And do you know, Andrea, I had major depressive disorder. This is the worst kind of depression. That's the most painful. So 2 years, it was total pain. You see, the problem with depression is that when you are sad, depression is different. You don't feel anything at all. You don't enjoy talking to people. You just feel dull and dark. So what happened was, I called Gobi and my only friend Gobinathan. He virtually, he cried virtually. So we met, and he told me, "Why don't you tell your story?" I said, "What to tell? What to tell?" The power of science, the power of antidepressant, and the dangers of untreated depression. I said, what to write? Write your story, but you can see a lot of people around us are struggling here in Malaysia and around the world. Your book can help. I said, what to write? I don't know what to write. But Salim, did the antidepressant help you? Yes, a lot. Yes, it did. It basically brought back my ability to think and function. The executive function of the brain was totally numb due to the severe stress and depression. So it was nothing much I can do except with the intervention of this medicine. So I didn't doubted him because he always had the best interest of my heart. So I started to write, collect my data, everything. And today the book had 70 chapters initially. Today it has been culled to 42 chapters. And the book tells my story, the erosion of the self. What can happen to a person when due to uncalled for life events, especially COVID-19, because the brain itself either fights the situation or flee from the situation. COVID was a situation where you fight, you lose, you flee, you cannot go out of the house, then automatically you freeze. And being a breadwinner, it's what Sigmund Freud mentioned, object loss. I try to do whatever I can to put food on the table. Virtually, I called many people, many of my friends, many people. They just couldn't lift a finger. The book is also about the true faces of our friends and relatives and people around us we thought had our back, but they did not. So it was an awakening. So I wrote it, and I self-published it using my saving. And my wife and my daughter didn't know about the book. I was using the panic attack time, 4:30 a.m. with my laptop on. I was writing throughout 2021 until the end 2022 because my wife asked me, why you switch on the laptop? Your business is not there. What are you reading? I say, I'm doing some research. So when she wakes up around 7, I shut down the laptop. But I didn't tell her. Only Gobi was there. He was telling me, keep writing, bro. Keep writing, keep sharing. And today the book is there. And one of the reasons, Andrea, wrote the book, because my daughter was there. My daughter, that's my daughter, my wife. My daughter needs to know what happened to the father. The father was crying every day without reason. She was 6 years old. She cannot compute why my father is crying. And I don't know why I was crying. I don't know. That's the danger. And when I did my research, severe clinical depression, you cry like nobody's business because the chemical in our body has been reduced because of the stress. This chemical can be found in the stomach and in the brain, but due to stress, it has been virtually reduced and eliminated. So with synthetic intervention, I was able to think straight, the panic attack reduced. So here the book is out, and today I'm preparing few more chapters of this book to talk about what will be the future like of our children today when AI takes over the jobs, or almost 90% of all jobs, our descendants. So this book is all about also the future where depression today is the 21st century unseen pandemic, and COVID further accelerated it beyond our imagination. Suicide cases are high around the world. People are struggling. In Malaysia, we also have that. That is one of the reasons also I finally decided to set up my NGO on talking about this topic, depression. We need to prevent, Andrea. We need to prevent. We don't wait until my situation like me collapse, because when someone goes into even a mild depression, it's already painful. We need to see. The aim is that family members, societies must know if some of our family member or maybe a relative or friend is going through some difficult time. Some things happen because beyond our control. Something can happen because of us. Maybe medication, maybe psychological, maybe could be our genetic bearing about it. But my clear-cut case was life events. And we need to know, we cannot always say, call the helpline, call the suicide line, which can help. But first thing first, the family and friends must notice we try to help that person. First, what happens? Support him. When the person do not have the support, that person will go further into the depressive state. And sometimes they don't tell you, they hide, they don't tell, they act very well. You can see a lot of famous people around the world. Recently, in Tamil Nadu, a very famous Indian actor, his daughter, 16 years old, if I'm not mistaken, committed suicide in the home. He's a famous Indian actor. Yeah. So you can see today, even hits young people. And we need to talk about it. And this is my aim, to really talk, because this book is about what happened to me and describing depression. And also I also talk about as a husband, how I felt. As a father, how I felt. This is as a man. This book is also for women, especially if they have husbands or maybe a life partner. See, men, when they are going through difficulty, they don't tell you sometimes. They keep it to themselves. But you must understand what a man goes through, how in a very dire situation. A man will always put a front to the family, try their best. But I tried my best for 2 years, Andrea, and finally the body couldn't take it. There is no such thing as mind over matter. There is no such thing. The mind can go anywhere and come back. Mind doesn't exist. If the matter is not taken care of, the mind doesn't matter. The matter, it got limitation. The matter is the body. It cannot take strain. Multiple life event, boom, 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 you collapse. Mental illness is real. And now somebody asked me, how many books do you want to sell on Amazon? I'm not, the book is not about selling 1 million copies around the world. This book is about writing the book while on antidepressant, while trying to stay alive. Gopi told me, you start writing, at least you have a purpose in life. Your business might not pick up. What are you going to do? You might fall into depression, and you don't have to. Are you going to rush back for antidepressant? Because the antidepressant is to help me think. But if my problem is not solved, I might fall back into depression. So this book is about being able to survive day to day under severe stress and nothing around me, no extrinsic motivation except a will to survive, to tell my story. And today, this book is about survival. This book represents those silent voices in Malaysia, in India, around the world. They're struggling with this battle pain, and they don't know what to do. This book will talk about the unit of analysis, what goes through a person. It is not a book where 20% of the population are having depression, 10% have suicidal thought, 5% have come up with a suicidal plan. We need to understand what does a person who's going through severe difficulties goes through. What is depression? If we can really understand how painful is depression, then we value suffering. When we value suffering, quickly we find solution and discard all wrong narrative which create wrong stigma. So this book is about unit analysis. How dangerous, and trust me, Andrea, this is a pain that I pray you and everyone who is listening, whether in India, in Malaysia, please, you don't have to go through this. You should not go through this. This is a pain, is so real that you cannot even describe. People take their life because of this pain. So this is a little bit of encapsulation about my journey. This book is written under severe stress and in a recovery mode for humanity. Yeah.
Excellent, sir. I really thank you so much for sharing that. You shared it with a lot of passion. I really
thank you so much.
am proud of you because you've come out in the open and shared it. You have the guts and the courage to do it. And I would love many people to be brave as you, to face depression in the right way and to spread the right kind of message.
Thank you.
Hats off to you, sir, for this wonderful feat that you've done.
Thank you so much.
Thank you for that. Now, sir, I'd like you now to focus your attention on the youngsters. Many of the youngsters today fall into relationships and they think that the first relationship they've, entered into is the last one and the final one. But the truth is you have to test the waters to get the right soulmate.
Yeah.
And there are quite a few youngsters who I have come across who have spoken to me. that they are under depression because there is a breakup in their first relationship with the opposite gender.
Yeah.
Now, how can you help these youngsters overcome that depressive phase? From your side, for you, it was your professional space that was quite depressing and you faced it in that way. But I would like you, with regard to heartbreak, how the younger generation should face it and go ahead and not fall into the trap of depression.
Okay, a very good question. The young generation today will be the leaders of the future. Now, the first thing is that I've seen we have the same phenomena in Malaysia here. Usually when someone comes and see you, Andrea, he said, I'm feeling depressed. That person is maybe not depressed because you cannot self diagnose depression. It cannot. It could be like that. The word depression itself has been used very disrespectfully. What I know is that it had been used very disrespectfully around the world because you see, they equate depression with sadness. Let me give you one example. When I give talks in Malaysia, some people will say, "Oh, my coffee machine is not working, so I'm depressed." Actually, the correct word is disappointed. You can never know you are depressed except a clinical psychologist or a psychiatrist who need to diagnose you with five signs, telltale signs for more than 2 months. Usually they are going through a phase of uh, sadness, rejection, feel lost, but they say they are feeling depressed. They are feeling depressed because they lost their love of their life, and emotions creates the most terrifying bonds if it is broken. If you have a love bond. So the issue is that when you talk about youngsters today, I think having relationships, which is very healthy, but also we need to educate them that this relationship through time will pass, that not all relationship will be like you mentioned, will end up with a marriage. I think many youngsters are looking at instant gratification, like they find the first person, the first man or the first woman, and they say, this is it. No, it's not the way. I think the parenting plays a very, very important role. But unfortunately today, Andrea, many parents do not have basic parenting skill. They don't even know what is a good parent should be, and they shut down open relationship with their kids. They don't talk because many reasons could be social, it should be cultural, and when you are not openly talk to kids why these things are not allowed in our culture, uh, then the kids will go and try when you are not around, or maybe do it in a very discreet way. So I think the most important is when someone comes and tell you, no matter what, is they will say the word depressed, which I can't blame them because society think the word is it's correct what they say, but actually they're feeling sad, they're grieving, and they are shocked, they feel like a failure. So this is where parent, all the family, all the society needs to play a role and tell them about when they're growing up that this is part and parcel of life. We have to tell them the hard truth, because one of the reasons that make me survive today is very much the philosophical books that I've read. And also I mentioned yoga, which helped me a lot, yoga. But in kids today, we really need to tell them that in life, you can never get whatever you want all the time. Sometimes some people will get, sometimes I will get. So open channel communication must be created between the child and the parent, because we do not want our kids to seek outside our sphere for help when they want it, because sometimes because they are not able, they are first love, or they do not how to manage rejection. Only through time and life experience you are able to handle the vagaries and the rejections in life, where you're going to find in so many ways, even at work and also in relationship. So very important, open communication must be there. But in the same time, there could be some kids, they are grieving, maybe they grieve, with that grieving process is normal, but grieving process have some symptoms of depression. But grieving process can also prolong. This is where the danger lies, where some people, they grieve. If you're talking about death, but for these kids, sometimes they can take it very seriously. If they take it seriously, they're not coming out from the room. They're totally change in behavior. They don't mix around. That's a telltale sign. Telltale sign. If you're angry, you're don't mixing around. We are not mixing around with people. It's okay. But if you're just not coming out from your room for a couple of days, you're not eating, you're silent, and these are the telltale signs. Could be the kid fall fallen into mild depression, because mild depression, moderate depression, severe depression is non-linear. It's non-linear. It can be immediately. So that's where we need to know. We need to know. We have to monitor, and we need to have an open channel with our kids where they can share. Because it's unfortunate, in Malaysia, we have also cases where a kid was being bullied at school, 16 years old, and nobody noticed, and he hanged himself in the room. I'm sorry. These are the hard truths I'm going to talk about my topic. 16-year-old kid, how much trauma he has gone through. Usually, depression happen is sense of helplessness. Try to cope with a problem alone cannot happen. One by try to cope, try to tell people, nobody listens. So he tried to fight. He cannot fight. He tried to flee from the problem. He cannot flee. Pops, he collapsed. They call it the brain freezes. The brain. So if you look at the depression, scientific brain scan they have done, this is a normal brain. This is the normal brain. You can see it's like a city, Andrea, like a city, a very busy city, like Kuala Lumpur, maybe Mumbai, whatever. But you can see if you look at depression, the city got no lights. I mean, you can see the brain shutting down. This is real. They've done the research. So you can see it shuts down, the brain. The executive function, the thinking function are being shut down. That's why untreated depression will lead to suicide, because the brain to self-destruct as a species. So this is some telltale sign we have to see. So kids, many reasons you can fall. Genetic reason, maybe your ancestors had depression those days. Can psychological bullying, environment, society, or physical. Many reasons. You're not taking care of your food. Diets are bad. Having junk food every day. Let me give you one example. If you take junk food every day, your certain chemicals, your mood stabilizer, glutamate, serotonin, which I mentioned in my book, will plummet. You can fall into depression. So it's all about also chemicals, but in the same times, we need to see when someone has been hit by a life event, whether a family member, we need to create awareness, and because that person will show opposite behavior. These are the telltale signs of could be a mild depression. But then again, that's where intervention must come in. A family member could, if you know a psychologist, will be fantastic. But this is a telltale sign. The person shuts down, refuses to talk. That's where we need to really take serious action.
Yes, sir. Thank you very much, Salim, for sharing that. Thank you so much. Now, if a parent finds his or her child suffering from depression and requests the child to come in for therapy or, get treated in the right way, the child refuses. In such a case, what has to be done, if you could share that?
Okay. Very good question. Very true. Very good question. This very, very important question. Now, whether child or whether an adult, doesn't matter, adolescent. Now, according to Dr. Jordan Peterson, he said, he's a Canadian psychologist, he said 75% of people respond well with antidepressants. There are some people they call it TRD, treatment resistant depression. That means they need to go for other treatment. Now, let me give you one example. The doctor who treated me, she's a doctor, and she said a parent brought a kid, had same symptoms like you, same symptoms like you, and I prescribed antidepressant, which was Prozac. Now Prozac is called fluoxetine. The parents themselves refused to believe. They thought taking antidepressant will make you mad. This is a wrong misconception. They also have the wrong understanding that antidepressant will make you addicted. Again, this is wrong. I'm a lived experience. Antidepressants, the side effects are so bad, you cannot be dependent on it. The side effect will come for the first 15 days, like vomiting, nausea, which is part of puzzle. But within 15 days, you are able to get the chemicals back in your head, the the mood stabilizing. So I always tell them, if a child refuses to accept, because usually where they refuse to accept, because number one, cultural and social stigma. I took the pill, now I'm mad. You believe in me, believe me, Andrea. I have educated people told me should not take the medication. I'm telling you, Andrea, if I've not taken antidepressant, 100%, I'm not be talking here. I'm already 6 feet under. The Prozac saved me, helped me. I'm not telling other people, you need to have a diagnosis. They will provide. But Prozac science helped me. So the issue is that because she said I might get addicted. No, I did not get addicted. I took it for 5.5 months actually. Then I stopped. And every 1 month you see a doctor. This is a social stigma. Now, if the child refuses, why? Because stigma. When you have that, just like HIV those days. HIV those days, when HIV started back in those days, they related it to homosexuality. No, actually HIV, unfortunately, that time they infected the homosexual community. Actually started somewhere in Africa, also with a monkey. So the question is that today people are openly talking with HIV. They're saying there's treatment. Same also depression. People really don't understand. It is always been there. Now, my suggestion, if the child refuses to, get a straight jacket and send him to the nearest clinic. Because if the doctor has diagnosed that that person needs to go for antidepressant, no harm, you try 1 month. No harm. Just give a shot. It works for 70% of the population. Now, somebody asked me, let me give you one example. One lady called me. She said, a staff cut young girl, she cut her wrist, Andrea? She cut her wrist. She came to work, cut her wrist. You see, someone cuts her wrist, it's not because the rational mind cannot do it. Someone is undergoing some situation they cannot control. So he asks you, because he's trying to run away from problem by creating a permanent solution for a temporary problem. They want to commit suicide. Then the lady called up the mother and said, I need to bring your daughter to her. You know what the mother said? Cannot. We are from this religion. If you bring my daughter to the we are from this religion, I don't want to mention, to the clinic, then people will say my daughter is mad. You can see that. Let me give you one example. I was giving a talk in the sports ministry of Malaysia. One guy was beside me, quite an elderly guy. He was talking to me. His friend's daughter had postpartum depression, which is very common for women who delivered during pregnancy. Even during pregnancy, 15% of women will get postpartum depression, and some will get postnatal depression, which is related to the baby. This lady is an educated lady, and she was having postpartum depression. She refused to touch the baby. She was moody. She cannot manage it. So the father listened to one holy man. I don't want to mention what, holy man, religious man. He said, go and see him. He'll do some prayers for you. What she did, he did what? He didn't bring the daughter to the clinic. He brought him to see the holy man. Prayer. Yes, she did something for him, for her. Within 2 weeks, she jumped off the block. She committed suicide. Just imagine. This issue is that no words, no chants, no prayers can help. This is a scientific, a medical problem. When I talk about depression, when I went through depression, when I overcome it, I fight it, I treat it with diet. I got my diet right. When you're no longer on diet must be right. I do yoga, which I mentioned. I endorse yoga in my book, and I talk about philosophy. But in the same time, if a child or anyone refuses, fights with you, my suggestion is that if you're not strong as a mother, you're a single mother, call the police. Sorry to say, call the police. I didn't say that, Dr. Jordan Peterson. Bring her to the clinic immediately and put her under straitjacket. Because if that person, if the doctor diagnosed needs to take that pill and we refuse that, we are prolonging the suffering. I told someone, Salim, you're taking antidepressant, how? I say, yeah, I feel groggy. Sometimes for 6 months, I feel groggy. I sleep differently. Sometimes I got no appetite. So you should stop. I said, what are the options you have beside antidepressant? I always tell people, there are many side effects of antidepressant, which is true. What is the side effect of untreated depression? What is the side effect of untreated depression? One of the side effects of untreated depression, you commit suicide. So this is my aim, is that whatever society say, if the doctor says so, please listen. Science, we need science. Then after that, the family support, love can come in. But for depression, please seek treatment. The doctor knows what to do. For me, Prozac virtually saved my life. I'm no longer on it. You know, I do have my dark days. There's no cure, but I know what it is. The best part, I know what I'm going to. I have my dark days, but it's not as severe. But please let your child, do not listen to them, listen to the doctor. No matter which society you come from. Are you in a very traditional society, in a very cultural society? You better put it aside. There's so much research done on antidepressant today. Most of the antidepressant comes with very little side effect. They are so helpful. So we need to educate people. This is an area. In Malaysia, we have some people even told me, believe me, Andrea, you shouldn't talk about it. Do you believe or not, Andrea, when I prepared my manuscript, called some of my friends, you know what they told me? Oh my God, nobody will give you a job. Nobody will ever give you a job. Because if you publish this book, you're mad. You know what I said? Thank God I was reading European philosophy. Thank God I was reading Jiddu Krishnamurti. One of my big gurus is Jiddu Krishnamurti, who was born in India. I was here. I said, okay, this is the first and the last time I'm going to talk to you. This is my mission. There are many people walked out of my life, Andrea. There are many people ignore me because they think I'm a cuckoo case. I'm not. I'm clear with you. I wrote the book while on Prozac, a very rational scientific book. Do I look like a madman? No. Some of the greatest minds in the world are having depression. They had depression. Lincoln had that. Churchill had that. Had depression. Hemingway had that. Sylvia Plath had that. All had depression. They survived. They are doing their work. So the issue is that do not let what the doctors say. Just like COVID-19, just like HIV, just like any other illness, seek the treatment because your brain today is having serious problem. Look and see here. It's like a this is scientific article. You can see it's like a sink, and you have the chemical coming in your called the serotonin. It comes from food. It is built in your stomach, but under stress, you're no longer eating well. You're under stress, so there's a leakage here. Whatever you eat, not enough. So what they do is that they want to plug the hole using antidepressant. So slowly they fill up with antidepressant. So your mood is no longer negative. Your mood is no longer suicidal. You are able to think straight. This is synthetic because you cannot consume, because you're under pressure. You're not eating well. So it is scientifically proven today that antidepressant within 6 months, for some people within 30 days, is able to take away the panic attack because the pain is so real, Andrea. I could be sitting with you. But I don't know what to do. I was crying in a coffee shop. I was just crying. I said, I don't know what to do. I was crying. And it could even lead to psychosis. You're seeing things. It was so bad. It was so bad. I could have written a love story, Andrea. I could have written a fiction. Why I wrote this? Because I'm a humanitarian. I want to save life. And I want to talk about it. My daughter is the witness, and we want to do it. And this is where it is. We have to educate everyone wherever they are. And today, if you look at India, they have the greatest doctors in the world. They have the greatest. They are the technology builders. And India have produced some of the best, greatest philosophers in the world. That can also help in the society. They are the greatest thinker there. So let's do not take something that is no longer relevant today. We worship our culture, but if it's not relevant, then I think we have to reconsider and seek scientific treatment.
Yes, sir. Thank you, Salim, for sharing that so well. You've given us a great example. You've showed us various pictures. You've showed us the scientific evidence behind it. That's really nice. I appreciate
Yeah.
all of that. And you encourage people to go in for therapy, to meet
Yeah.
the right kind of doctors, to get the right kind of help. If
Yeah.
you're a single parent, take care of your child, take care of higher authorities. They could really come forward and be of any help to you and your family. Now,
Thank you.
some we have seen several women being abused in the family, especially during the COVID time. And many women, they're unable to flee, or they're unable to, fight back. They freeze. There are several women out there like that in many parts of the world.
Correct.
Now, I would like you to give a message to all the family members, especially the head of the family. It could either be a male or a female, whoever is the head of the family, to acknowledge and understand that, mental health is of great importance in the family, and how to take care of their people, how to stop the abuse, how to share, or, how to check or educate people in the family in the right way without being abusive. And when you feel that there are people who are abusive around you, automatically many of them freeze or either
Correct.
flee or fight back and create chaos. Would you like to share your thoughts on this, Mr. Salim?
I'm also a management consultant. I talk about relationship and about abusive relationship. But let me tell you this. You are correct. Say example, Andrea, you slap me. You slap me, the pain is only here. It's a physical pain. But you can hurt me more than words than you slap me. Because if whatever comes out from your mouth, it hurts me, it can linger for days. For days. So now abuse, not necessarily physical, the physical abuse, most people can sometimes can tolerate. It depends on the extent. I'm not saying it should be minimized, but the verbal abuse, some abuse, the words, the insult, we have, in our family, we insult people, we make jokes of them, we put people down. It builds up because during the COVID in Malaysia, we have divorce cases rise like meteoric rise all the way, Andrea. You know why? Because people are at home and they confined to the places where the husband used to go to work. Now he's at home, and the worst part, people like me, we got no income now, sitting at home with no income. So I think the most important thing, parents, I think the respect must start at home. And just because you're a husband or a wife, we have to be very, very careful what we say, because what we say can really impact people, in a very negative. So if you look at the great teachers in the world, you look at Gautam Buddha, you look at Jesus Christ, you look at Muhammad, you look at all the great teachers in the world. Why we remember them today? Because they themselves, if you look at, when they talk, they think first, no matter how they have been ill-treated. So the family members, first thing, the culture in the family members must be respectful. Now, just because you're a woman, women suffered a lot also. They are also men. But what happened, because during COVID, they cannot go out, they cannot run away. So they can fall into depression. One of the signs of a depression is that you start not taking care of yourself. It is something like a job burnout. Job burnout has some symptoms of depression, but job burnout is not necessarily depression. So it could be a sign that you're no longer, you feel helpless, you feel hopeless, but you still can function. There is a one sign of the person is going through severe stress. He's trying to fight back, he's trying to gain control, but he lost all control because of external factor beyond his power. So it can lead to depression because sense of loss. So family members, number one, family members, whether you're a sibling or a parent, you have kids, you really need to lead by example, and you need to have say, how do you want to really treat your child? Because an abusive child, abusive husband was the product of an abusive father. So our children, they don't learn from what we say, it is from what we do. So leadership must start at home. It is, we must play a role, and we cannot say just because I'm a husband I can abuse my wife, and just because I'm a mother I can tell off my daughter just like that because I'm the mother. The times have changed. We people, the words we say matters a lot, and it can hurt some people, because when you are abusing someone, people have self-esteem. When the main reason someone abuses you, they want to degrade you. When they degrade you, your self-esteem has been pummeled. When your self has been pummeled, you have low self-esteem, it impacts your mental health. Because you must also understand that there are three types of people in the world also, which we have these traits. They call psychopaths, narcissists, and the Machiavellian. These are the traits we have. Psychopaths are people who are openly insult, hurt you physically or verbally. They are certain percentage of society. This is basically genetically. Machiavellian are people are always taking advantage of you all the time. They only want for themselves, but they don't hurt you directly. They are very good in taking advantage. They are manipulative person. Now the third one are the narcissists. Narcissists also can create a lot of stress because it's all about them. Narcissist was a great story, if I'm not mistaken. He was looking into the water, into the pond, and the narcissist was looking in the pond. He fell in love with himself. So we have this type of people in our family also. Many reasons why they become like that. And the most dangerous one are the psychopaths. Psychopaths are very dangerous because psychopaths, they hurt other people. They don't have feeling. They virtually have zero empathy. They are heartless people. And today, shockingly, being a management consultant, the top level of many organizations, they have very high IQ, but they have zero emotional intelligence. They have zero empathy. They have zero sympathy. I've talked to them. Even they don't have any feeling. So they are just talk only. But actually, the higher in organization, I based my experience, they have psychopathy. The only psychopathy they exhibit is they are very cruel to employees. They don't go to an extent like Hitler kill other people, but they hurt other people in many ways. So they have this. So we need to know. We have to be assertive. We need to teach our kids also. We have to teach that when someone crosses the line. And a simple example, you just disrespected me. Why did you say that? Why did you have to say that? What did you really mean with that language? Why did you have to say that? What's your aim? We can ask in a nice way. First thing first, in any relationship, Andrea, I think respect is key. Whether it's a young and old, that's why our great teachers those days, they are very respectful. We need to teach our kids when people have crossed the line and step on our toes, we have to tell them nicely. Because if we allow, then we become a doormat. Just because I'm a husband, just because I'm a wife, doesn't mean that people can step all over me. It must start. With ourselves to educate the people around us, to respect everyone around us. That's the first step.
Yes, sir. Thank you, sir. Thank you very much for sharing all of that. Thank you very much. I'd like to add a few points for our viewers, my dear friends. This is for you. There are several famous people across the world who have faced and battled depression in the right way through yoga, through meditation, to meeting the right kind of people, to getting clinical help at the right time. I'd like to mention a few of them here who have openly acknowledged and who have stood for people, who have stood up and spoken about depression, to put that right. Like, yes, I've been through this depression, depressive mode. I've been through depression and I am now okay. I've been taking help from the right kind of people. I'd just like to mention a few names here, which I've just got through a little bit of information. One is Chetan Bhagat, Rakhi Kholi, Sudha Murthy, Mahatma Gandhi, Sarojini Naidu, Mr. Nambodri, that is EMS Nambodri part. Then we have several others, Narayan Murthy. You have Ratan Tata, Sara Ali Khan, Shraddha Kapoor, Karthik Aryan, and Kirti Sanan. And among the musicians, it is A.R. Rahman, Himesh Reshmiya, Sonu Nigam, Shreya Ghoshal. They've all accepted that they have faced depression at one point of time or the other in their lives, anxiety, and they have stood up for mental health awareness. It could be also among authors and writers, Jhumpa Lahari, Vikram Seth, Arundhati Roy, etc. A few historical figures to mention, Bhimrao Ambedkar. He coped with his depression and anxiety with meditation and yoga as a coping mechanism. Lal Bahadur Shastri, Indira Gandhi, etc. And several other dignitaries who have really stood up for the importance of mental health. And today you stand tall among all of these great historical figures and the present contemporary leaders who have vouched for mental health, like focusing on mental health. That's really nice to have had you share all of that, sir. I'd like to add few more. One could be Deepika Padukone, Kangana Ranaut, Shah Rukh Khan, Vidya Balan, John Abraham. These are some of the famous figures in the Indian society.
Jhumpa Lahiri, Arundhati Roy, she have written wonderful God of Small Things. Wonderful writers. Yeah, it's true. Yeah, they talk about it. That's the beauty of India. They're talking about it in Asia, in Asia. That's fantastic. They, everyone, there's no one size fits all, Andrea. When you're coping, when you know you have been diagnosed with depression, you need to have an understanding that can I show you something,
Yes, please.
Andrea? Is it 1 minute? Huh?
Yes. So, dear friends, what we'd like to concentrate today here is on giving importance to mental health, treating people around you in the right way, not being judgmental, and not focusing on seeing something in the negative version of themselves. Trying to be very kind and gentle with them and seeking the right kind of medical aid or assistance with them. Yes, sir.
Okay, I'm going to show you some prop. Now, when you share the famous names, these are luminaries in India. Now, depression is like that. When you've been diagnosed with depression, no talk therapy can help. Psychotherapy, CBT, cognitive behavioral therapy, these are the therapies that can help overcome when you are recovering. Now, for clinical depression, just like showed you the photo here, the brain has been shut down. You can see, eh? So we need to treat two parts. Brain, we need to take care of the hardware, the brain first, because the brain will determine how your mind functions. The brain has been infected. So with antidepressant, the brain is able to start to function well, especially the executive function, the prefrontal cortex, the new brain, they call it the new brain. So the amygdala hijacked the small part of the brain, the small inside, where reptilian brain has been now reduced its role. So the first part, yes, once done, then he's able to think. That's where psychotherapy can come in. Maybe for you could be example. Let's look at John Abrams. Maybe for him could be yoga, could be cycling, could be music, could be again, yeah, many things. But diets also play the role, because you cannot be on antidepressant. Diets like B12 vitamin is very, very powerful. B12 is a vitamin for the brain and the blood and the spine. B12 from organ meat, B6 vitamin. Your diet plays a role. Your guts are very important. So that is very important. Many, because different people will try to, like for me, I spend every week one whole day in the jungle, just alone, no phone, nothing. I just sit there in the jungle. I just see nature. I just sit there. But also the diet. What are the diets that you're taking plays a very, very important role, because depression is like that. It's like that. It's a example. They've done a research by Dr. Gabo. They what happened? They put some rats, a few mice inside an aquarium. So example, this is a mice. They put in an aquarium. So they just hit the aquarium like that every day, just slowly outside, not directly to the mouse. That like that. External stress, and they hit it for they increase the duration. I think within 1 week, the mice died. The thing never touched the mice, but just outside. Depression is like that. The first step is coming, panic attack. The first sign of depression, having panic attack is normal. Being nervous is normal. Being sad is normal. Being worried is normal. But what happened? Extreme stress and extreme worry, panic attack without control, then it start to hit you. You start to get more panicky. No help comes. You don't know what to do. Then what happens slowly, if no help comes in, now the thing that hits you already inside you. So it is 24 hours. Tell me, man. Nobody sees it, Andrea. I was there. I was talking to my wife. I cannot register. I cannot do anything. I cannot control. The brain is shutting down. And what he's telling? He's telling, kill yourself, kill yourself. It's not because they want to commit suicide. It's the brain shutting down. That's the solution. That's the only solution. But there's a permanent solution for a temporary problem. But once with antidepressant, the no more hitting. It slows down. Sometimes it stops. Then you're able to think. Then the brain start to have all the city lights again. Then you are able to do so many other things to take care of yourself. You're able to think, you're able to be joyous and everything. So yes, I agree with you that all these famous luminaries in India have come up and shared their ways, their coping. This is very important. The more they share, the better, because All of us have very various way to deal. One lady I met, she said she do a lot of prayers, which very good, but when you're under depression, there is no other way except except accept antidepressant. I was talking to a very educated person. You know what he told me? I say I was antidepressant. He told me I don't believe in antidepressant. I told him, say, do you know what I went through or not? You read my book first. You shouldn't talk like that. You don't believe, that's your problem. Have you been depressed? He said, no. How dare you listen to people? This is bad science. This is wrong narrative. I took it, my friend. If I have not taken it today, I'm not with you. Today, I'm not here. So please, first thing first, you need to seek treatment. Seek treatment. With that, we can help. But my aim is that let's prevent it. Let's prevent it. Don't let people suffer, because depression is the ultimate suffering. It is just like cancer stage 4. There's no turning back.
Yes, Salim sir. Thank you so much for sharing that. I'd like to even add a few more world-renowned personalities who suffered from depression. This is for our audience. Apart from India, Emma Stone, Marilyn Monroe are a few of them to mention. And to add on to that, Lady Gaga,
Yes,
and
yes,
Ernest Hemingway, Sylvia Plath, as you mentioned earlier, sir, John Green, Abraham Lincoln, Thomas Edison, and Florence Nightingale as well. And there are several others. So what we want the world to know is depression is something to be not just pushed away under the carpet. We have to give importance to it and seek the right kind of treatment, meet the right kind of professional. Under professional guidance itself, you should take the treatment. Do not self-medicate yourself. Or if somebody has suggested certain things for you, drugs, please do not take them. Please meet a registered practitioner or a clinical psychologist who has been really, having a connection with the right kind of course. And to put that very right, let me get my words right, because I'm just getting stuck up for the right word. Meet the right kind of people who could give you the right kind of therapy and suggest the right kind of treatment. Do not fall a prey to people who give you treatment just to earn a few bucks. There could be some quacks around you who could really manipulate you and your state of mind. So get the treatment from the right kind of people. Am I right, sir?
Exactly. You see, when people are having severe stress, maybe they are under a situation that usually they self-medicate. Some people go for alcohol, some people go for cigarette, some people go binge movie watching, some people go food. Binge food eating is a mental illness. See, mental illness like depression is one of it. Actually, the diagnostic statistic manual, the used by psychiatrists and psychologists, we have about 200 mental health condition. 200. Everyone of have it. Some like nervous being binge eating, anorexia, bulimia. These are all the stresses that's caused by outside. But in the same time, is that we need to seek that when is enough. Because when you start taking alcohol, the reason why they do that actually is this, Andrea. Our mind got many states: beta, alpha, theta, delta. Beta is the cognitive mind, the thinking brain. That means without beta, I cannot even walk. I cannot even see you. I can't even. I don't have space. I cannot measure place. That you need to walk around in this world. Beta. But alpha is the yogic mind. Alpha is where you calm down. You do yoga. But what they want to do actually, when the panic attack hits, that they go for alcohol or cigarette. They want to numb the pain for a while. Then that time the the beta is being numbed a bit. By the same time, you feel a bit relief. But it comes back again when the alcohol, the power of the alcohol, the no longer working. You have the hangover. This is where you can create so many other problems because your diet or many things. So that's why people do self-medication, which is very, very wrong. If you're having severe stress beyond your control, you need professional help. Initially, you can go to a psychologist first. Psychologists, they are able to look at your challenge and give ideas, but they are not able to prescribe you any medication. Only a psychiatrist can do that. So the psychologist is able to tell you, okay, you're having this disease, because this is the first step. If you're overwhelmed, but you're trying to say, I'm strong, the danger today, more is good, men, like men. The problem with men today, cases of men committing suicide are higher than women. Why? Because men cannot tell his story. You must man up, so they keep up. They keep to themselves. This is very, very dangerous. It's what society say. You need to seek help. That this is when is enough, and don't wait until it's too late. You self-medicate. These are people who are heavy smokers, people who are heavy drinkers. They have a problem. They try to numb, but when they go back home, the problem is still there. They need to face the problem and say where I can seek help immediately. So that's where the role, the role of correct diagnosis with the right clinician really helps.
Yes, Mr. Salim, thank you so much for giving us a lot of clarity on that.
Thank
So we
you.
request all the viewers who view this session, please take professional help. Please take the right kind of professional help. Meet the right kind of psychologist or psychiatrist, whichever is required for you, based on the severity of the things that you're facing. I mean, in your personal life with regard to depression, etc., and anxiety, etc. I'd like to put that. So never ever give up on life. Life is beautiful. Let's make it even more beautiful, like just how our celebrity and guest, Mr. Salim Satori, has been so passionate and so kind enough for explaining it so well with all the props. You have shared that with us. That's really, really awesome, sir. It really has, has a very positive effect on the session today. I really admire the way you put it. And I would really request you to share much more time with us in future as well, to make it even more clear for all of us as to how we should prioritize mental health. What happens? You very scientifically, you brought that thing, and shared it with us. That's really, really very nice. It really makes me really feel great.
Please, Andrea, in the future, if you really want to have another talk, another session, I would love to do it anytime, please.
That's really nice.
Maybe this world is small. I'm just 5 hours flight away to India. Never know, because I could be one day coming to India. I don't know. It's a small world. Yeah, because today I'm a citizen of the world and I serve everyone. Whoever you are, there are no vaccines. There are no immunity against depression. We got to get, and today research have shown every one of us, our descendants, will get through one severe depressive episode in life. One. So some people will not be able to get out of it. So that's why we have to prepare. We have to take out the wrong negative narrative, wrong stories. And the danger today is in Asia, not Western countries. They have the infrastructure. In Asia, because of stigma, what people say, all that, very dangerous. Let me give you one example. Based on my research in Malaysia, 4 types of people I've met in Malaysia when it comes to antidepressant. And I'm sure it resonates well with people, our brothers and sisters in India. Now, number 1, when I took the antidepressant, I tested everyone. I met very educated people, PhD holders. You know what they said? Salim, don't take the antidepressant. You become addictive. I said, do you have any other solution? No, don't. Number 2, the very religious people. You know what he told me? No, don't take. God is testing you. God loves you. No, my aim is that only science can stop suffering. Suffering must stop. Suffering must stop. I said, God loves me, very good. But I don't think so God wants me to suffer. He gave me a brain to find solution. Thank you. Third one are the traditional people. The traditional people, you know what they told me, Andrea? There's a devil has possessed me. Satan has possessed me. Now you have to see a shaman. That is also wrong. It's the brain is shutting down. The last police are the usually Western educated people, European, Americans, Canadians, and educated, Asians who are educated. They told me, Salim, seek treatment. What you're doing is right. Try the antidepressant. So you're going to find these type of 4 people. The first 3, you don't listen. You listen to the one who tell you to the nearest clinic. Find out. My advice to all of you, you know where's the nearest Starbucks. You know where's the nearest coffee bean. You know where nearest KFC or McDonald's. I'm going to ask you a question. You know where's the nearest doctor, but do you know where's the nearest psychologist? Do you know where, if you really need help? Most people cannot give answer. I don't know. That's dangerous. We need more psychologists. Unfortunately, because of stigma, they do not even dare to open clinics. We really need to talk about it now. And this is a fantastic platform and an honor to serve, especially I'm going live here. Recording for our sister, kind enough to invite me all the way from Hyderabad.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Salim. It really means a lot today. You've done justice to this platform by sharing and speaking about mental health. We'd love you to share many more sessions with us.
Love to do it again.
We'd like people to, learn from you how to overcome all the challenges.
Correct.
That's really nice. And you are a global citizen. I feel when anybody who stands up for mental health. I feel that they should be respected at the international level, given the due importance, because they have recognized the importance of mental health, not only for themselves, but for the entire world.
Can
More
I add
power to
something?
you, sir.
Can I add
Yes.
something?
Yes,
Oh,
please.
very important. Now, what I went through, someone who goes through depression is totally a changed person. Physically, I'm the same. I can show you my photo previously, but inside I've changed, because someone who goes through hell sure changes. Correct, Andrea? Yes or no?
Yes.
Yes. See, now when I'm been diagnosed with depression and the doctor gave me medication, the doctor's job is only give you medication, and after 1 month you go and see him. This is my based on my experience. The doctor will check on you. How are you? The first question they will ask, how are you feeling? Depression is all about feeling, feeling, feeling. So, but when a family member gone to depression, the whole family members must change. That guy is not coming back. He had a near death. My wife knows. Ask my wife. Physically, I'm the same, but I've changed totally. Not become a monster. I'm totally, because I see things reality. I feel more. So the family now must learn about that, change and adapt to him. Because this guy, a family member, whether she's young or old or doesn't matter, she went through a near-death experience, depression. That person has changed. We need to change. We need to support. We need to help that person. We need to educate ourselves about what can cause to this leads a person to this. We need to understand. It's not they come back again. People say, Salim, are you okay? No, I'm not the same Salim anymore. Definitely. Number one, there is not 100% cure. There's no, I still have my dark days, but it's not terrible. I can still function. But at the same time, my family, everyone have adjusted that now we have to deal with man who's went through so much difficult time. We have to help him. He's a normal citizen. And I'm not mad. I'm perfectly rational. I'm okay. I'm a loving father. I'm a loving husband. I care for the society. Depressed people, like you mentioned, are the most talented people they've been. So no worries about it. Talk about it and seek help. Please, if your parents are telling you not to go for treatment, please find a way, visit the clinic. The doctors there, India itself during COVID-19 have created their own vaccine. You have the best brains down in medical brains in India. I'm sure they can help. They have good researchers down there. So better than Malaysia, I'm sure. So please put away yourself. The problem is not in Mumbai, maybe Hyderabad, I don't know, but in a very outskirts area, very traditional, they might not seek treatment. This is where the danger starts. We need to educate people. Even God wants us to change. God, and yoga is one way we can help us to recover fast, because yoga is all about knowing your mind. So this is my message, is that family, please change and support any family member who went through this most difficult time, which is called being diagnosed by depression, diagnosed with
And
depression.
be responsible for those people who are depressed within the family, and of course even friends and various other people who find in your surrounding or vicinity there is somebody who is suffering from depression. Guide them to the right kind of professionals, getting professional help and saving their lives.
We have to do it for our descendants. If you are a father or a mother who's very traditional, please, please, our time is going to be up soon, but we have to do for our kids. What will they do in the future when we teach them so much? We teach them about values, we teach them about sickness, we teach them to wear masks, we teach them to how to wash their hands, how to be courteous, we teach them about smoking can lead to cancer, but we forgot to teach them about something called depression. What will they do when unfortunate life event hit them? What will they do? They do not know, because we have not educated them, because our stigma is that don't ever say, like my experience, no problem, they'll manage, no problem, they'll find a way. Sadhguru always said, ignorance is bliss until it hits you. So my advice is today, let's get educated. If you want to know about cough, you want to know about influenza, why not you teach your children if life events, how to overcome it, and what happens if you fall into depression. We have to talk now, because we owe it to them. We don't want them to be at the outside at the window sill making that decision. At that time, no one was around. And also, please stop your kids from totally focusing on social media. Find real friends, find true friends. This Gobi was always there physically. 3-4 hours he will spend time with me every day. He inspired me to write the book. He inspired me to tell. This guy saved my life. This guy saved my life. He'll pick up my call 3 o'clock. Sometimes I can't even talk to my wife because I don't want to burden her. She was suffering. But this guy saved my life because of him. So find good friends. Need to find good friends now so that during your tough times you can help each other. Very important. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Salim, for sharing all of that with us. Thank you for being so kind and generous with your
Correct.
time.
Thank you.
And hats off to your friend, Mr. Gopinathan. We thank him for being a part of our journey, although he's not present here today.
Yeah.
But nevertheless, we remember him today because he's been a part of your journey as well. And that has
So
made
much.
you who you are today and
Right.
sharing all of that. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you
What
so
is
much.
the lesson that we have learned today, my dear friends, is have good friends around you. And of course, seek professional help. Don't neglect yourself. If you find yourself completely depressed, cut off from the world, seek the right kind of help. Open up and speak to people. If you can't, any family member who observes you in depression or seeing you being cut off or, in a frozen state, please seek guidance and reach out to the people. If you love to connect with our celebrity and guest, that is Mr. Salim Satori, you are most welcome to connect with him. He would be more than glad to spread the message through your platform or through your way
Thank
of,
you.
wanting the world to come forward and stand with the people who suffer with depression. Let us overcome depression in the 21st century and not take it to the next century.
All right. Wow. Wonderful. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, sir. Have a wonderful time. Thank you very much. Thank you, sir. My dear friends, with this, we come to an end to the International Fab Talks for today. Keep in mind that mental health is of the most important thing to be taken care of as of today. And if you like what the International Fab Talk team is doing, stay connected with us. Like, comment, subscribe, and share to the International Fab Talks. Where you feel that you would like to spend time all alone, you find that something is not okay with you. It's time for you to prioritize your mental health, seek the right kind of guidance, meet the right kind of professionals, and live a beautiful life. Protect yourself, your family, and the universe at large. With this, we like to sign off now from the International Fab Talks. Many thanks to you, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.